We will strengthen our own defense, which means that in the coming years we will have to explain to many sectors of Norwegian society there will be less more in your area because there has to be more on strengthening our defense, rebuilding our naval defense, and most sectors of our defense. That is a collective domestic security obligation. Secondly, we will rely on allies and alliances. An alliance. So the NATO alliance, which I think is in really good focused shape on the north. A month from now, we will have 25,000 troops exercising in northern Norway, northern Finland. And the two largest delegations there I saw was the French and the US. 4,000 to 5,000 troops each. And again, this is not charity. This is out of a mutual interest. So I think, we have a good point of departure to this. I'll just come back to my point. When we now invest in defense to 3.5% and 5%, let us do that wisely. Because if we do it side by side, it will be waste. If we do it coordinated, it can be a formidable force of deterrence.
Exactly.
NATO threatens nobody, but nobody should be under the impression that they can threaten us.
We have learned the hard way that, having dependencies, whether it's on energy, whether it's on security, having dependencies is making you vulnerable. And if you're vulnerable, you're weak. And that's why really building partnerships is key. And of course, Norway, we sort of consider also a part of Europe, and that's why very close ally. We have a security and defense partnership. And in terms of economic security as well, the cooperation that we can do in this front. And when it comes to maritime security, I think also developing international rules further that they would, be applicable today, because we didn't have critical undersea infrastructure before, we didn't have weaponization of trade routes before, so I think there's a lot where we can cooperate and not putting all the eggs in one basket anymore. And if you have like the European army and then you have the NATO, then the ball just falls between the chairs, and this is extremely, extremely dangerous. That's why I say we have to strengthen European defense, which is also part of NATO. It is really complementary to NATO. Let's not throw NATO out of the window. We have an Arctic strategy that is a bit outdated. So we have agreed to do a new Arctic strategy, because it's not only about environmental issues, but it's all about also about security and what comes with it. So we are working on this. We want to work together with our Nordic partners when it comes to the security of the Arctic, and also defending it in terms of economic security perspectives. The United Nations definitely is not delivering the way it should. I mean, if I go around the world, then I see that really there are a lot of countries that want the rules-based order, because the majority of countries in the world are medium-sized or small countries. So for them, international order is really the thing that protects them. But if it doesn't work, then, it doesn't give you the coverage. There's an argument that actually, the international rules-based order has been an illusion. It has been always law of the jungle, wherever who has the might takes what they want. But even in jungle, you have animals cooperating. Yep. And I really see that we are in this situation where we have to really develop this international law further with those countries who want the rules-based order. And what is really lacking, because all of us want that there wouldn't be any wars. So what is lacking is the UN Charter is very good. I mean, the principles there are very good, but it lacks the accountability part, really. What happens if you breach those rules? So we have the Security Council at the moment, but, we have seen if a Security Council member attacks another country totally in breach of the UN Charter, then you can't really do anything. And I echo what you said also it doesn't reflect the current world. So there's a lot of what we can build on, and I think we also need to use this opportunity to build further, because, like I say, the majority of countries in the world actually want the rules-based order. Actually, if we look at the transatlantic policy, or we look at what the U.S. administration has, the decisions that they have taken, I mean, it didn't really start with President Trump. I think, there's a lot of convergence with the policies of different administrations, really. So I don't think it's because it might be also easy to think that one personality comes, there are elections, then another one. But I think it's a long-term policy that we really need to look at. And one thing that I wanted to also say is that you said that. The big part of U.S. knows that we are Europe is their allies, and I saw a poll that was done in October, and that was interesting because really over 40% of Americans consider Europe their biggest ally that they can trust. Now the question to the Europeans, and that was in October. That was 14%. I think since October we have seen a lot happening, so I think it might be even lower now on the European side when looking at America. And this is a problem, definitely.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.